Ein weiteres Reaktionsvideo. Heute reagieren wir auf das Video I survived Hardcore Minecraft as my full-time job for a year. Das ist ein Video von Luni, einer YouTuberin oder einem YouTuber. Viele Leute haben bisher auf dieses Video reagiert, weil die einfach zu den besten Minecraft-Spielern gehört. Er oder sie. Ja. Auf jeden Fall hat die extrem große Bauwerke gebaut, sogar schönere als ich in meiner Welt. Und auf die haben die meisten schon reagiert, deswegen hätte ich gedacht, ich mache das auch mal. Achso, auf jeden Fall, ich jetzt mal sagen, starten wir. Die spielt Minecraft Hardcore nämlich und hat es für ein Jahr gespielt. Das Video geht nur 42 Minuten und 13 Sekunden. Sie zeigt es nämlich schnell, aber das ist doch scheißegal. Also, übrigens, ich habe nicht am Start angefangen, weil das war nur der Prolog und der ist ein bisschen langweilig.
When I started this journey, I had absolutely no idea where it would lead me. I started out just wanting to survive for a little while,
Wie nennt es?
but I had high hopes.
Run.
This is the first Minecraft world I named before I started
Für
it.
die, die übrigens noch nicht wissen, was Hardcore ist, in Hardcore Minecraft können Zombies deine Tür in deinem Haus einbrechen. Das ist echt scheiße. Das ist aber mir in Minecraft schwer auch mal passiert. Und Leute, wisst ihr, was die auch noch machen können? Im Hardcore-Modus, wenn du da einmal stirbst, dann kannst du nicht mehr respawnen. Dann kannst du die Welt nur noch beobachten. Kein Weg mehr zurückzukommen, nur ein Leben. Hey, ja, und sie hat es einfach so überlebt, oder der oder sie. Ja. Auf jeden Fall werden wir auch nicht auf das ganze Video reagieren, weil es geht 42 Minuten.
If you don't believe that something special is about to happen,
Okay, gut.
then you're
Gucken, was
probably
er oder sie
right.
da macht.
But
Ich sag einfach mal
I was
eher.
ready to believe.
Könnt ihr mal eure Meinung
Like
in den
so many
Kommentaren
other worlds
schreiben.
that
Kann
came
ich
before,
nicht sagen.
and so
Zuerst
many that will be started
startete er
after this
mit
one
ein
is
paar
over.
Holztools.
The journey started with a fist and a
Das
tree.
wusste ich.
The first
Aber
steps
was
I took in the world were very careful
weiß
ones.
ich nicht.
So right after I got some basic tools, I set up a
Mit
little
Wooden Tools
mountain
startet
home
man immer in
right
Minecraft.
where the adventure
Stellt euch
started.
mal vor, startet so als Noob mit Wooden Tools, baut euch erstmal eine Mountain Base, wie er es hier baut, aber ihr gewonnen, dann habt ihr einfach so ein fettes Schloss ausgebaut, habt Full Netherite, Protection, Full Armor oder so und vielleicht habt ihr auch ein YouTube-Projekt danach gemacht und plötzlich erinnert ihr euch zurück an das allererste, dann denkt ihr, was habe ich denn da alles gemacht, wie bin ich denn schon so weit gekommen? Genau das dachte ich mir auch in Minecraft mit Booster XR, aber vielleicht werde ich ja
Before going underground for the night, I explored a little bit. And as soon as the adventure started, it could have been over right here without ever meeting a single zombie.
Aber das wird jetzt mega
During the
einfach,
first couple of nights, I was so afraid of mobs that every time night fell, I would go down underground to do some mining while I had blocked off my mountain cave with a dirt block so no mobs could sneak in. When I started mining down, I found my first bit of iron, and before long, I had some proper armor, and my first little base camp was taking shape.
Und lebt in so einem Schloss, wie wir es gesagt haben. Und dann erinnert ihr euch auf einmal zurück, dass ihr euch mega gefreut habt, als ihr Eisen gefunden habt. Aber das ist halt das andere,
Around
wo
me,
man freut
with
sich.
my armor, a shield, and a bunch of torches,
Gott, er
I
hat
set
Gold
out
gefunden.
to light the cave system under
mal
my
gucken,
little
wie das
hideout.
reagiert, wenn
It
ihr
was
jemanden-
right there,
Oh,
still on the
zum
first
ersten
day,
Monster
that I had my second
Und er hat
close
ein
call.
Schild.
Luckily, I reacted quick enough, and my shield saved the day.
Der Mann steht bei ihm. Wow, er hat sich erschrocken. Der Creep ist auf einmal
Wow.
in 10 gewesen. Okay. Noch einer?
My first short-term goal was to get enchanted armor and tools, but to get the best enchantments, I needed to get to level 30.
Okay.
The safest way I could imagine doing that was to mine nether quartz for experience. And because I found a lot of iron in the cave system, I decided to make a bunch of buckets and use those to cast an obsidian frame for the nether portal up in my mountainside cave. When I first went into the nether, I was so terrified of the idea that a ghast could attack me when I came out of the portal that I made this little tunnel around the portal to secure my exit back to the overworld.
Hier nett auf.
The lava lake right next to that safe passageway was my early game fuel source. My coal supply simply couldn't keep up with the amount of cobblestone I was smelting to prepare for my first house. I mined the cobble down on Y11, of course, because I was also looking for my first diamonds. With these, I would be able to make an enchanting table soon. That just left me with leather and sugarcane to collect, so I went outside and lured a couple cows back inside the mountain base so I could safely breed them here. With all the resources covered on the overworld side, I went back into the nether to get my levels by mining quartz. Level 30 was the last thing I needed to get busy with the enchantment, so it was time to finally Move out of the mountain. Not all that far from where we started out, I found this village. I decided to build my first house right next to it, because getting villagers would be a much more reliable way to get all the enchantments we needed.
Oh.
Wait. Hold up, Looney. You just showed us 3 minutes of living in a cave, and now you built a house and got villagers in 10 seconds? What's going on?
Okay, also ich verstehe, was er hier sagen will. Also das verstehe ich jetzt. Er wollte nämlich sagen, dass er vor ein paar Minuten noch in so einer Noob Mountain Base lebte. Und dass er jetzt nach diesen 3 Minuten so ein fettes Pro-Haus gebaut hat. Also schon noch nicht so ein Schloss, wie er es danach bauen wird. Aber trotzdem ein so fettes Haus und sogar noch mit Villagers, mit dem jetzt wahrscheinlich
could hear you guys just thinking that.
Okay.
Well, you know what? This story I'm about to tell you isn't actually about this house. It's about what happens next. I had spent the first part of the journey by myself. Me against the world. And it had been terrifying. But things were looking up for me now. I had my diamond armor, had my protection for enchantments, even had a house. I was slowly but surely making the world mine. And that's when I found Danny. My first friend on this adventure. That meant I was no longer alone on this journey.
Wo hat denn Diamond Horse Armor? Das kann doch nicht sein, dass dieses Pferd direkt einen Sattel anhat und
Danny and I, we were the stars of our own fairy tale. Both of us equipped with diamond armor, galloping around the plains in search of gunpowder and ender pearls. Nothing could stop us. So riding around with a smile on my face, I started dreaming about defeating the Ender Dragon, dreaming of getting wings of my own to fly around the whole wide world. And then in a fraction of a second, everything changed.
Oh, Kacke, er ist an seinem Pferd ist gestorben und er hat nur noch ein halbes Herz. Oh mein Gott, fast Tag vor Welt verloren. Schade, er hat nicht gecheatet. Aber trotzdem, jetzt ist ein Pferd gestorben. Oh mein Gott, und der Bildschirm wird auch schwarz. Auf dem Pferd kann man auch sein Schild nicht aktivieren und das Pferd ist halt auch nicht safe.
I had been unbelievably dumb.
Und warum freut es sich jetzt nicht?
And
weil er
then
das
he
mit dem
paid the
halben Herz
price.
überlebt hat. Also ich würde mich mega freuen. Ich wäre mega stolz auf mich.
That's the moment where it all clicked.
Vor allem so ein Creeper.
That's the moment where I realized that I wasn't ready for this world at all.
Ich weiß doch echt noch nicht, was hier abgeht.
I needed to be way more careful,
Alles klar.
or this place would end up eating me alive.
Was macht er jetzt?
So I picked myself back up, and I continued my quest to the end. But I developed a level of being careful like you have never seen. Danny was with us for the shortest moment, but he left us with a gift.
Alles klar.
He gave me the mindset that would make me miraculously survive the first 365 Minecraft days in this world.
Er hat Änderungen in der Hand. Ich glaube, er will nach dem Ende suchen. Ja, er will nach dem Ende suchen.
Once I made my way to the end, there was just no way I was going to mess up this far into the game. I had to start facing the toughest challenges head on. I had to start forcing myself to get better at the game. This world wasn't mine just yet. I still had to earn the right to call it that. And for the time being, everything that I lacked in skill, I made up for in determination. But I was about to be tested for the first time. With an inventory full of slow falling, I felt ready for that test. Time had come for me to slay a dragon. Danny's death had taught me a valuable lesson. That moment made me realize just how bad I was at combat in the game. Going into this fight, I decided that it wasn't about killing the dragon. It was about trying to prevent any scenario where I could die. So I pressed that pumpkin head firmly onto my shoulders and rushed into the fight that would take me nearly 10 minutes. I got most of the crystals with my bow, but aiming for the higher ones was very awkward because of my impaired vision. So I towered my way up there and slowly drifted back down with the potion effect. And slowly but surely, I started wearing the dragon down. As she got tired, I grew more confident until eventually I inflicted the final hit. And as awkward as all of this looked, I made good on my promise to Danny.
Ich sollte mich zu den End Crystals hochbauen, damit ich an die besser drankomme, vor allem an die Gitterstäbe abzubauen. Aber irgendwie habe ich dann das noch geschafft. Bei einem musste ich es zwar machen, ich musste mich da hochbauen. Und dann wurde auch in die Kommentare geschrieben, dass man das auch bei den anderen so machen kann. Aber bei den Gitterstäben hatte ich
I got through a major obstacle and I made it out alive. we were one step closer to the point where I could start writing my own history. One step closer to creating a special Minecraft adventure. And one step closer to being able to do Minecraft as my full-time job. Before entering the Dragonflight, I had made a nether portal in the stronghold. Because our business in the end wasn't quite done. I made a quick trip back to my house and loaded up my inventory with a lot of stone, but most importantly, I took an anvil, an Unbreaking 3 book, a mending book and some rockets with me. Because I intended to come out of the end with a couple of elytra. That first part of the journey over the void was so scary. But after I found my first end chip, I felt a sense of relief and accomplishment. Because this was the moment where the adventure really started. Getting an elytra changed everything for me. Not only could I now safely build an Enderman farm, which got me all my maxed out enchantments, it also opened up the entire overworld. So I took my wings and set out to find a location for my first project. And after a little while, I came across this ocean monument, which I would turn into a project that I called the Heart of the Sea.
Das ist ein Ozeanmonument. Jetzt kommt Werbung. Oh mein Gott, Schokolade.
Geliebt von der Lindmetre Chocolatier.
Verdammt.
Before I could get any building done, I first had to get rid of the guardians that protected the monument. And that wasn't without any risk. I had brought enough water-breathing potions to survive underwater for more than 30 minutes, so I decided to seal myself in a little box and enter the monument from the top. This strategy gave me safe entrance, but entering through that tube was tricky. It would nearly get me killed later. Defeating the Elder Guardians was a daunting task, but occasionally taking cover made all the difference, and before I knew it, I could start draining the inside of the monument structure. From that moment forward, this place started functioning as my main base. Soon I installed an iron farm above the ocean and a guardian farm inside the monument, both of which would start collecting resources while I started draining the area around the monument. As the surrounding area started to dry up, my plans for the base began to come together as well, and I realized that I wanted to locate my essential farms under the monument. That meant I had to take another big step in developing the world. I needed to get a beacon to get the haste effect. But wait, Looney, hold up! We're going so fast again! Well, yes, but this story isn't about iron or guardian farms, guys. We are about to see another pivotal moment right here. I made my way back to the nether fortress I had found earlier, and I started looking for wither skeletons. It took me about 2 hours to get 3 of their skulls, but ever since I defeated the Ender Dragon, things have been going so well. I felt like I was flying through the progress. Full of confidence, I traveled back to the end, ready to get my first beacon. Since I had never fought the wither before, I decided to spawn it under the dragon's nest and suffocate it. A friend showed me how to do it on a server one time, and at this moment, I was fully aware that I didn't exactly remember how we did that. But I figured there were only 2 scenarios. 1, a minute from this moment, I would have a beacon. And 2, I would have to be ready to run for my life, because I had no idea how to fight a wither in hardcore. Luckily, I remembered the setup perfectly, so I trapped the wither in the bedrock of the dragon's nest, only to shoot it free a moment later. The moments that followed were the most stressful ones. Since that explosion had ended Danny's life, there was a wither right behind me, and I had no idea how to fight it. So my only priority in this very moment was get out of here. I just took off, I looked around, I couldn't find the wither, I had no idea where it was, but somehow I made my way out of the end, safely, and I had to collect myself. My first move was to gather ghast tears so I could make regeneration potions. With the potions in place, I felt like I just had to go back in and give it my best shot. But I still went with the pumpkin strap.
Gut, aber wisst ihr was? Hier gucken wir dann später weiter. Ich will das Video wirklich nicht zu lange machen. Das speichere ich jetzt in meinen Verlauf. Das Video war wirklich cool. Aber guck mal das Thumbnail dann. Das baut ja auch noch für das Video. Das war eben dieses Schloss, das ihr gemeint habt. Das habe ich nämlich auf dem Thumbnail gesehen. Deswegen habe ich schon gedacht. Und das ist eine von meiner Minecraft mit Booster XD folgen. Guck mal, wie das so aussah, das Thumbnail. Aber sein Thumbnail sieht einfach viel geiler aus und erinnert mich an Lego und Spaß. Aber jetzt würde ich halt mal sagen, beende ich die heutige Minecraft-Episode. Wenn dieses Video heute schon 10 Likes erhält, für euch großer Fortschritt, für die anderen YouTuber aber nicht, dann würden sich mich auslachen, kommt die nächste Folge direkt morgen. Und zwar morgen am Morgen. Vielleicht an dieselbe Uhrzeit. Ich weiß aber nicht. Ich kenne mich nicht so gut mit Uhrzeiten aus. Ich bin erst 12, wie ihr wisst, ja. Aber ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns im nächsten Video wieder. Bis dahin, ciao!